So coming into this class, I didn't really know any details of what a child life specialist does. I just knew like a brief description. I didn't really know what they did on a day-to-day basis. So I did learn a lot in this class, actually, of what an actual child life specialist does. Coming into this class, I did know that play was essential because it's just a part of childhood and it helps promote learning and development, so that I did know. Before, I really just assumed that child life specialists only work with children that are there long term, so that was something new that I learned, that it's not just for kids who are there for months at a time. It's really for any kid that's there, and just helping them get through what they're there for, and then helping their families as well while they're there. So that was something new I learned. I also learned that there's actually a process. It's not they just go in and kind of bring out toys that they have or things like that. They actually have to go and assess. They have to plan, evaluate, intervention. So it's an actual process while they're there. I also knew before this class what a sick child, like what impact it has on a family, but I didn't realize what kind of impact it had until I really watched the movie A Lion in the House. So that movie really was like an eye-opener for me because it really turned these parents' worlds upside down. Now, of course, on the video it wasn't like a kid with a broken arm or a kid being diagnosed with asthma or anything like that. There were more serious cases in the movie, but I really did learn the impact it made on the families, on the siblings, and just kind of everyone that was involved. So this class really did open my eyes to really the impact that it made on the patients and the families. I always knew, of course, you have to treat everyone with the same respect that you're coming across with in any profession that you're dealing with patients and with families. But I really did learn that you really need to communicate and share complete information with patients and families, and not really trying to steer them in any certain way or direction based off your personal beliefs. You do have to respect everybody's beliefs and really trying to see where they're coming from, but because at the end of the day it's the parents' decision, it's what they want, and you just have to respect it and be kind of biased about it. You can't really try to make them see how you want them to see, even if it has to do with religion or just really what they believe. So I've really learned about that as well, and just being there for them as best as you can, be useful in any way that they need you to be, and really just have that strong communication between you and the families. I also learned about therapeutic play. So I have talked about this in other classes before, so it's kind of more of like a review, but so basically learned not to really direct the child's play and not to interrupt them. Let them use the toys that they want to. Just don't do things for them as well. Let them actually try to do it, and then of course if they ask you for help, you can obviously help them, but just because you see them struggling doesn't mean you automatically need to take over and try to help them. And also trying to play with them and not taking over what they're doing. Let them do their own thing. It's also important to have toys that promote creative use, and things that will help them express their feelings is also helpful, because if a child is having a really hard time, they probably won't just straight out tell you what's wrong. They have to really get to know you and be comfortable with you, and playing can also help express their feelings that they have. So I was able to learn that really in this therapeutic play is really that's the most that I got out of it. Really was that it really helps them express their feelings, and you can learn really more about them and how they're actually feeling, because children are probably not gonna just tell you up front what's wrong. Preparation and communication, I thought was really important, because you want to provide information to help not only the parents but also the families, and help them understand what's going to happen, and then also helping with coping strategies, whether that be if someone in the family does pass away, or if that patient does pass away, helping not only the families but helping that patient as well really understand what's going to happen and how to cope with it. So I also learned about the sociological preparation. So it does have to be age appropriate information, which I thought was really important, because sometimes a 2-year-old really not going to understand versus someone who's 7 or 12 years old. So learning about how to come across or how to start the conversation, and then really what information to give them and what not to give them, of course with like the parents' permission. Procedural preparation, basically the reason for the procedure and what the procedure is like. Concurrent preparation, so information provided as events happen is important. And then post procedural preparation, so you usually following up with a stressful event or something that that was critical that happened in their lives. So those are really the things that I took away from preparation, because I didn't really know what all came with it. So that was something major that I learned as well. Death and dying was really kind of the hardest one for me to learn this semester, because you really don't want to think of kids dying, but as a child life specialist, that's kind of what you're around, really. Of course, not all kids are terminal and long-term, and not all of them will die, but the ones you really get to know are there long-term, so this one was kind of hard for me. I went through a Prezi, and I really learned that having keepsakes really helped, and then family activities helped as well, just to try to build those memories and with the families and the patient, especially if they had siblings, and then siblings that are young. So trying to keep those keepsakes is important for those families and for those siblings to have as they grow older. So that was something that I really learned throughout the semester, or towards the end, I guess, when we talked about it, because I really didn't know how I was really going to handle that as a child life specialist. But learning about, just kind of being honest and letting the child talk about death in the way that they perceive it is important. And then also, of course, with the parents' permission of how much to actually tell them, because that is up to the parents. So I did learn about death, and a lot about death and dying throughout this semester. Self-care. So one of the articles that I read, it did say you can't pour from an empty bucket, which was kind of like an eye-opener, because self-care is so important. We all try to do everything we can and be the best we can, but sometimes we really need to take a break, step back, and just take a break, really. Slow down, and then really just take care of yourself, because you can't really help others if you're not taking care of yourself. So I really like that quote from one of the articles that I read during the class. But that was my favorite one. And then again, I did learn more about like how child life specialists can get burned out because the lack of self-care that they take. So I thought that was really important as a chapter in this class to really go over, because it is important even for any profession that you're doing, but especially child life specialists, because they see so many sick kids, of course, and just really need to step back sometimes and take care of yourself for a change. So the Association of Child Life Professions was something new that I learned. I didn't really know too much about it before this class. It was interesting to see that child life is in other countries, not just in the USA. So I really hope to see it increase everywhere, like the word basically, because not a lot of people know about child life specialists and what child life specialists actually do, because I just knew like a brief description. So I really hope to see more people talk about it, more people know about it, because it really is important, and it does really help out families and patients. Just having somebody advocate for you is really helpful when you're there in that stressful situation, especially as a parent when you have a sick child. So I think I really hope to see child life be more talked about, and then seen all over the world, really, in every hospital available, just so children all over can really have that help that they need, give those parents the help that they need as well. So I think it's really important. I hope it gets recognized more.